Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 579 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. How are you all doing? This is Monday for a new week. And unfortunately, DC FanDome did not drop their schedule, but that's okay. There has been some new developments over at DC and DC Comics and DC Universe. But before that, of course, I just have to thank you, the new members of the Ping Pong Flix Show. And here we have it right here. I want to thank Maximilian Platten, who made this incredible little figure for me. He does incredible work. He even made that Zack Snyders director a award for the SNYDER'S fan contest, right? The art contest. So, hit him up. He's really good at this. And also I want to thank Brent Coffee, the big Hulk, huge guy. He's huge. Brent Coffee. Thank you guys so much for joining as a supporter at the Ping Pong Flix Show. And once again, I want to thank everybody in here. I have like 31 supporters now. Sickness, David Sherrington, Arib Hussein, George, Krypton Cage, Brandon Hall, William Powell, Entertainment, Ray Ray's Collection, Derek Schultz, Danny Gray, W&H Productions, Curtis Deberg, Kal-El of Krypton, Frank Dombrowski, Mr. J310, Carlos, and the Anthony of the ACS Universe, Code Austin 28, Roger Benavidez, Nadir Hussein, Big Rooster, Bon Jovi Calendar, Mike Smith, Michaela, Griff the Sith, JD McRae, Il Divino Vega, and Jeffrey Mock. Thank you to all 31 supporters, including Brent and Maximilian, for being part of the Ping Pong Flix Show. And if you want to also join the Ping Pong Flix Show as a member, you can go to any of my videos, including this one right here. All you have to do is click down here to the join button and join right here. And now all the perks are explained right here, including the exclusive videos in the exclusive access members only. So if you want to join, go ahead, click on that button and join as a member to get access to those exclusive videos as well. So thank you very much to all my new members. Now, let's get into what's happening in the DC world. Not too good. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. DC Comics, DC Universe hit by major layoffs. This is coming from the Hollywood Reporter, also reported on Variety. DC Comics, DC Universe hit by major layoffs. The majority of staff of the streaming service DC Universe has been laid off, as has editor-in-chief Bob Harras and multiple other executives on the publishing side. So this is a giant article that you can go ahead. There's naming all different kinds of names that you probably don't even know of, haven't heard of. But basically, there's a lot of layoffs, and it's not that, surprising, especially during COVID-19. A lot of different companies are laying off their people, including the companies that I even work with as well. So it doesn't, that's something that is, unfortunately, that's the norm right now. Jim Lee remains, however, the chief creative officer for DC, and they're saying that the insiders are saying that they are laying off DC Universe, so that may actually probably at this point go away, and shifting its focus to the new streaming service HBO Max. DC Universe was dead on arrival, and I gotta share this actually, dead on arrival as soon as the AT&T merger happened, said one source. So DC Universe launched in May 2018, and it is home to live action series, and a lot of these are starting to stream on HBO Max, including Young Justice and Harley Quinn. Well, I'm not sure if Young Justice is on there, but Harley Quinn has definitely just made it on there. Also a victim of the layoffs, DC Direct, the company's in-house merchandise and collectibles manufacturer division, has been shuttered after 22 years, another move that was rumored when Warner Bros. Consumer Products began taking a more active role in DC merchandising. So the DC spokesperson declined to comment on the changes, which come less than 2 weeks before the planned August 22nd online event, DC FanDome, which is supposed to showcase a lot of this stuff. So that is an interesting, and you do see it something like a little negative, right? And I get layoffs is bad. I totally feel my heart goes out to all the people who worked over at DC, especially getting laid off. Really, really sucks, especially during this time. But as a part of a company, the company's got to do what a company's got to do, and possibly this is a restructuring, streamlining, or simplifying. So I want to show this thread right here. Luis Fernando said it best. Layoffs at DC Comics and DC Universe shouldn't be a surprise. It's a process that has been cooking for months now. Who paid attention saw that coming? Important to say, fired executives from DC won't be replaced for new ones. Others in the company will accumulate their functions. This is all part of Jason Keelar's efforts to simplify the structure of Warner as a whole. In order to put HBO Max as the center of the company and DC brand as its main fuel, and to bring more efficiency, doing more with less and quickly, plus obviously cutting costs in this crisis. As also, although the trades are bringing it up only now, as it was part of the restructuring, Jim Lee has actually been overseeing all DC-related stuff in all divisions of the company since 2019 as Chief Creative Officer. He is getting more work to do after the layoffs. He's going to be very important coming out of this. Really, really important. As said, DC IPs are seen as the solidification of HBO Max and Warner Bros. Future as a whole, and the role of Jim Lee as advisor increasing the support he has given to all divisions and their respective leaders, and his big bet in the multiverse are decisive to make it work. So basically, they're streamlining, they are simplifying, and they're giving a lot of power to my man Jim Lee. Jim Lee, he's single-handedly saving DC, although that also comes to the sacrifice of a lot of workers, right? And so people are like, what's going on with DC Comics, right? So this is actually coming from Tom Taylor, sending love to all at DC Comics today. Too many good people have a hard day in a year of hard days. And it is this year. 2020 is a hard year. It's terrible. It sucks for every single industry. But he just wants to, reaffirm, just trying to say that, should say for all those taking this the wrong way, this is in response to rumored job losses. DC Comics aren't going anywhere. We have a lot planned, just feeling for any friends affected. And yes, but like I said, it's rough. It's terribly rough for companies to go through this. But I feel like this is coming in before DC FanDome, because once DC FanDome comes up, they're just gonna go. They're just gonna go with their new plan, with their streamline, their simplification, and the multiverse. Jim Lee is gonna be shepherding this whole DC thing, and it's gonna be incredible. It's gonna be big, right? He's got many ideas, I'm pretty sure, and he's allowing many ideas to be part of it. So they're putting all their chips in DC Multiverse, and they're putting a lot of that into promoting DC FanDome, right? So that could be exciting in itself, as to be a DC fan, DC film fan, DC comic fan, DC animated fan. We'll have to wait and see. The comic may be a little bit difficult because of the digital age, as comics has been going downhill for a while. So we'll have to wait and see for that. But in a way, they're just trying to say that the lore, the mythology, these characters, they're not going anytime soon. They're expanding to all different mediums, whether it be comics, games, TV and film, series, movies, what have you. It's gonna be it's gonna expand a lot more than that. And just to hype up DC FanDome is hyping up their promotion of the event by having pretty much the stars themselves do this thing called DCSuitUp. I guess you suit up as a cosplay, and they pick and choose, and you're part of this TikTok thing. So check this out, right? So the first one, they came out with many characters. First one is Wonder Woman, right here. DC fans, you've got the power. Cool. So this is Wonder Woman. Nice. Is that Liz Wonder? I don't know. Yeah. So it's great to see this. Great to see that happening where they're kind of just getting all the fans together, right? They're involving the fans, which is awesome. This is something that, Comic-Con was there too, when you actually see people cosplay and things like that, and they take pictures of the celebrities and stuff. This is another way to involve them. It's kind of like the Justice Con where we had the cosplay event too. So they're doing something similar to this. And also, not only that, but it does showcase all the people that are going to be there. This is Black Adam, Dwayne Johnson, with some pretty mean Black Adam suits here. Oh, special effects too. What? Oh man, hey, that's badass. So that's The Rock, right? And then we also got stuff from like this is Gotham Needs a Global Defense. Of course, that's our new Batwoman, our newest Batwoman right there. Yep. That's some pretty good costumes, I gotta say, man. That's really cool. Oh, that's a rainbow. Oh, that's different. Yeah, so that's pretty cool seeing that. And guess who's here, guys? It's Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller appearing for the first time involving the Flash somehow. The Speed Force is for everyone around the world, including cats. Why does he have a cat? I have no idea, but that's Ezra Miller. There is some unique Flash costumes here as well as part of that. Hey, I think my son actually has that one. Special effects too. That's pretty cool. So Ezra Miller is also promoting the Flash. We also got Black Lightning is back. Brought some friends from around the world. So and this is kind of cool because we have like maybe 5 or how many are there? 6 of these out today. Are we going to have more? Harley Quinn or Margot Robbie coming out as well to do that in her pajamas, I think. But a lot of great Harley Quinn cosplay as well. And I'm thinking, this is just Monday. Are we going to get more? Zachary Levi came out today with Shazam. It was some Shazam costumes. Although it was more like Miss Marvel for the women here, but and of course the last one today was Stargirl, DC Stargirl, which I've yet to see, and I gotta check that out later on. But you know what? It may just it's going to CW, but I don't know. You never know. It might end up on HBO Max too. You never know. So those were that came out today. I think that was it. And we'll probably, I'm just gonna guess that we may see more, which I'm excited for because we still need Batman. We still need Aquaman. I don't know if that's gonna come up, but Aquaman, or they might save for surprises, but the Batman for sure. Robert Pattinson's got to do something, or Catwoman or something. Yeah, there's a lot of characters they could potentially put out. So I don't think that's it. I think that's the start. Like tomorrow, we might have more. So I'm really eager to see that, right? And the other Batman's kind of missing. Ben Affleck's Batman is missing, and also Val Kilmer, right? I mean, they could actually do another Batman one with Val Kilmer, and this is pretty exciting. Val Kilmer is attending the DC FanDome, right? We know about that already, but on his Facebook page, it actually says this. So DC movie page, he put this out from the official Val Kilmer page. Nice. Hashtag release the Schumacher cut, which had a lot of, there was an event today, and there was it trended quite well, and a lot of people got together with fan posters and things like that to call and ask for the release the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. Val Kilmer says this: well, the news is out. Friends at Warner Brothers asked if I'd like to be a part of DC FanDome, and I asked if it meant putting on the old bat suit. They said it's optional. On August 22nd, join me and hundreds of the incredibly talented people that shape the DC multiverse. We're here to celebrate everything DC and, most important, all of you. What a fun way to help unite us all. Hope to see you. So awesome. Val Kilmer is going to be there. Probably not going to be in the suit, but hopefully he's there not only to probably talk about Joel Schumacher, but also talk about Batman Forever, and maybe announce the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever. We won't know until we actually attend the panel. So let's wait and find out. DC FanDome can't get here soon enough. Now I kind of jumped a little bit, and I was talking about Batman. I was talking about Ben Affleck Batman when I should have talked about Val Kilmer first. But Batman versus Deathstroke movie. I couldn't call it the Batman movie because that has kind of been already taken by the Robert Pattinson movie. So I figured, well, what's the difference? Well, Deathstroke's in it. So Batman versus Deathstroke movie. That's what I want to call it. So this is coming from Bruce Wayne, 69. I tracked down someone who worked with Joe Manganiello and asked him if the mocap project was DCEU related. He said no, but I also asked the big question. Are Batflick and Joe coming back to the DCEU? His reply was maybe yes or maybe no. So he talked to this guy, and this was the question and answer. Did Joe ever talk to you about his Deathstroke and Ben Affleck's Batman role? Yes. Wow. Is he and Batman and Ben coming? I should take this off. Is he and Ben coming back as just Deathstroke and Batman? I can't talk about that. I'm sorry if I bother you. Just a fanboy inside me. Haha. It's cool. Maybe yes, maybe no. I always find it interesting why he says, I can't talk about that. That's interesting. It could have just been a flat no, but he said maybe yes, maybe no, which, is interesting because last time I reached out to one of Ben's public agents, he pretty much said the same thing. I can neither deny nor confirm that. This could very well mean both he's not all coming back or maybe coming back, so don't get too excited. So thank you, Bruce Wayne, for looking into that. Now for me, that just means that it's the thing that Dave and everybody else was trying to say, even Steven, and they're saying that he has not signed back on for that Batman Deathstroke movie yet. He's totally signed on for Justice League. That's a given, right? He's coming back for Justice League. He's Batman Justice League, but maybe he's not quite convinced to come back for a Batman Deathstroke movie yet. Maybe they're still in talks, things like that. So we'll have to wait and find out about that role. I really want him. I just, come on, man. Or like the other idea where they could just kind of I think during live chat someone brought that up, where they could have kind of just put that movie or a story within the Zack Snyder's Justice League, if it's going to be a series, right? Just kind of put that in there, like maybe like from season 1 to season 2, just throw that in there, like a episodic, and episode 1, 2, or 3 involving Batman, Deathstroke, as a continuation off from part 1. That'd be, hey, could happen. I don't know. Could happen, and I think that would be a crazy way to do it. I'd be so amazed to see that, and I hope that actually happens one way or the other. But at least we're gonna get Ben Affleck's Batman in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and we get to see Joe Manganiello kick ass as Deathstroke in Zack Snyder's Justice League as well. So hopefully that will spur its way to more stuff from those two, and hopefully they do all agree to sign back on as well. But we know about Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller is definitely going to be in the Flash movie. He is going to be at DC FanDome as well. But this came up today. Grant Morrison, Ezra Miller's The Flash script. Now this is coming from Collider. Okay, Collider had reported on this. Exclusive. Grant Morrison says his and Ezra Miller's The Flash script was like Back to the Future. Back to the Future, really? Okay, so this is what Grant Morrison said. Yeah, I mean, Ezra Miller and I wrote that last year, but it kind of, what it's like. It was just one of those things I thought we had a really good version of The Flash, and we wrote it as fast as The Flash because it was so demanding. And it was pretty good. And I think after a few drafts, it would have been great. But the way some studios work, these things just come and go. I think about 15 people have already written versions of The Flash, but it does seem to be going ahead now, but not with the version that we did. I had fun. Ezra came over to the house, and we just had a real blast and created the story. And maybe one day the script will leak out into the world. Ryan Reynolds style. Yeah, it was pretty good. I mean, I don't know what they're doing with it, but it was pretty good. And it was a very different kind of superhero thing. It was more like Back to the Future, I would say, than a superhero movie. When asked if it was like that darker version, right? So he said, no, it wasn't darker really. I mean, elements of Flashpoint were there, and the elements of darkness, were there, and the material that they want us to use was the Flashpoint stuff. So Ezra and I were actually trying to do something that was a bit more, like I say, it's kind of like just a great science fiction story. And if you don't know the comics, it would have made sense. But I have to say, I mean, I don't want to talk about that because somebody else has done their work on it. And I'm sure it will be great. And maybe, as I say, this will leak out one day and people can judge. He keeps saying he wants to leak it out for some reason, but we'll wait and see. The things I can gather from this, is that he is saying that his story is not going to be used in the Andy Muschietti Flash and Miller Flash movie. So that's not the story. They're not adapting that. Christina Hodson is not taking that apart. Maybe, for the most part, to his understanding, that's not going to happen. The other one that he says is that they, as in Warner Brothers, wanted them to use the Flashpoint stuff. They really want them to use the Flashpoint stuff, which I thought that's interesting. Even, Andy Muschietti's version with Christina Hodson, they're saying there's a little bit of Flashpoint stuff in there. It's like and I always find that compelling because it's like they're making them use it. They said you have to use some Flashpoint stuff. Why do they have it? And I don't know who is telling them this. I don't know who is pushing them to use the Flashpoint stuff. It could be to expand, to show the multiverse. In this case, it could be Jim Lee's idea that he wants to be able to showcase that, Flash can go through back in time. He can go through different multiverses and things like that. And he's exploring his powers in that sense. And that's why it more than just an origin story. That could be the reason, but I find that really intriguing, really interesting. They're really pushing that part of Ezra Miller, that part of Flash, that they want him. They were ushering, and they're trying to make them use some Flashpoint stuff. Maybe not all Flashpoint stuff, but some. They wanted to use was the Flashpoint stuff. So, and I always wondered, when you think about Flash, and I'm always thinking about Zack Snyder's Justice League. Because in Zack Snyder's Justice League, Zack Snyder said he goes back in time to save them from the Unity, right? And that's probably the extent of it, right? But I'm wondering, right? I'm thinking this is a tin foil. This is the tin foil. A slight tin foil, because he already told us he's, Ezra Miller's running back in time, and we see, some stuff about that during Justice League, right? But I will always go back to this picture right here. Remember that 2/14? This is on February 14. He sent us this picture, right? And you do see Flash right here, but you also see Flash right here. Now, I remember debating and talking about this, whether it be the same Flash and he's going so fast you see him twice, or we've also conversed and talks as well. What if this is a Flash, or this Flash is one of them is going through time, going back to the events and running past to seeing himself in that event, right? And so I thought, well, that's interesting. That way they could show that he is working as hard. He's perfecting time travel already, going back in time. And that would allude to him being in the Flashpoint movie later on, right? And I always thought about this GIF, right? And this little scene right here from Imperius Alex. Thanks for putting this GIF or GIF out. And just like this person, he says this. So when Flash enters Speed Force and Final Battle, he revisits all the events in the movie, and this scene is actually a time travel scene. Look at her. He pushes it. Her hand grasps it. I know the only way to actually do this shot would be to reverse it, right? To make the sword go back into her hand. So that makes sense. But it's too easy, I think, for Zack. Unless this scene is actual time travel scene where he's helping out in the battle in the time travel scene, and he pushes the sword back in her hand, how it's supposed to go, how the time is supposed to go. He's changing time. He's changing the events of the whole thing, I think. But I don't know. I always thought that was interesting and compelling to look at, and I'll leave it at that. So, is that what's going to happen? I have no idea, and I can't wait to find out. And Zack Snyder's Justice League comes out in HBO Max next year, and I think by DC FanDome we're going to find out the actual date it releases, and I can't wait. I can't wait to find out. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. I'll see you next time.